Hey everybody, today is hay day. We're gonna get all this stuff cut, fluffed and baled. We're gonna do round bales out here. We're doing about 10 acres out here. It's extremely bright and it's probably 85 degrees. Humidity is a little on the low side today, but it's still very high. The rest of the week it's gonna be extremely high humidity. So we're looking at some afternoon thunderstorms that can pop up at any given time. And so we're gonna try to get this stuff cut, fluffed, and baled. Let me show you what we're using. So what we're using today is this 96 horsepower John Deere 4020. And then we got a Kuhn 3151 TL disc mower on it. Got the service lid up on it right here. And this dust flap is flipped up. But what happens is the discs are down here and they spin in circles, and they just cut it off at ground level. When they cut it off at ground level, it just lays down and you get it all like this. If it was in a bush, and it just goes right out the back right there. But if it was in a enclosed like a bush hog, it would just mulch it all up and just turn it all up, and you couldn't make it into hay. But this stuff being laid over is 3 feet long. He'll come back tomorrow and fluff it and then bale it. This thing is just a little over 10 foot wide cutting path. After he makes each pass, it just lays the hay down, but it cuts it all the way through. If you look, all of this is cut, it's just laying down. It's pretty much scalped all the way down to the ground. So we finished cutting everything last night. Everything's laid down on the ground. Come in here today with the hay rake. Get everything all fluffed up, let it dry for 24 hours. Hopefully get everything baled tomorrow. You see how it's in a semi-windrow right here from where it was just cut and laid down? Well, when he comes in with the fluffer, it spreads it all out. This is 2 passes right here. Spreads it all out, Allows air to get all in there and dry everything out nice. So this is a Coon Hay Tedder, and it's about 18 foot wide. It's got 4 wheels on it. It's PTO driven. And each wheel has got these spring-loaded fingers on it. And when they just dig into the ground and they just get all that hay up off the ground and they flip it through the air, as you saw. This stuff will sit out here for 24 hours and finish air drying. He'll come back tomorrow with a hay rake and a baler, and the hay rake will be right in front of the baler. He'll be raking it into windrows like you saw from where it was kind of cut, but it'll be a lot tighter windrows. And then from there, it will go right into the baler and make round bales. And here's what it looks like all fluffed out. So here it is, day 3. He came back and fluffed this afternoon at about 2 o'clock, I guess, maybe 1:30. Fluff it again one more time. We've had some really high heat. We had a little bit of rain last night, but the hay was pretty much dry, a little bit of moisture underneath, but he came out and fluffed it, let it sit for about 3 more hours. So he's on the other side of the field behind me with the hay rake, raking it into windrows. And then the second tractor is right behind him with the round baler, making the round bales. Those round bales are roughly 700 pounds and about 5 feet in diameter. We'll see how many we get off this 10-acre field. So this is the rake. It's a Kuhn speed rake, and it's about a 17-foot path. You can see how it's in a cone shaped. And these fingers out here on the ends of these wheels, they're ground driven. So they just dig into the ground. They tickle the ground, really, is what they do. And they just rake it from that wheel to that wheel to that wheel to that wheel. And then when it gets here to this opening, it just discharges out the opening, and you wind up with basically 2 windrows, one right here and one right here, and then it just makes one big windrow right there. Pretty simple deal. They've been using this thing for many, many years. A design very much like this that was horse driven. But these are just spring-loaded fingers that just tickle the earth and rake it up. Kuhn Speed Rake SR 108. And then right behind him, the baler. The edges are pretty thin, but when they get into the heart of the field, the hay is nice and thick. can see what a thorough job it does. This is all the hay that's fluffed. And then this is everything that's been picked up. Just super clean operation. So this is a round baler. Everything else he's got is Kuhn, but this is a John Deere 460M. And here's the mouth that you saw where all that hay was going in. And those fingers right there pick that hay up. It goes in there. And you got these belts right here that take the hay all the way up to the top, and it starts it in a circular motion. This drum right here is where it winds up. And when it's winding up on that drum, he's monitoring this gauge up in here.
Cut it on. So we got our size right here. It's the size of the bale. I got it set to 72 inches because I didn't know how much we would get on that last bale. Usually I got on a 5-foot bale, I got it set at 59.5. So by the time the beeper goes off and it stops, it'll be 60 inches. It'll be a 5-foot bale. But that's your size and this is your count. Tells you how many bales is actually wrapped.
And it is counting up in inches, and when it gets to the inches he's got it set at, an alarm will go off, he'll stop and open up this back door and it'll kick out. When you windrow this, you want to make sure your windrows are nice and even, because if they're not even, then your bale will be tall on one side and short on the other. And if you notice, that bale is pretty even all the way across. You see how it's high on the left and low on the right? It'll make your bale lopsided. That monitor tells him when the baler's full, so he knows when to stop and discharge. Nice uniform bale though. Look at that, it's pretty even all the way across the top. Pretty even across the top, so that means that he's got his wheels adjusted properly on his hay rake. He doesn't need to make any adjustments. well-oiled machine right there. Father and son know exactly what each other's thinking. These hay bales smell awesome. I wish you guys could smell them. So we wound up with 23 bales. Not bad. If you've been watching my videos and you go back and look, you remember that this farm was nothing but weeds and trees when I bought it. Not to mention garbage, lots of garbage. So this is the start of my third year out here. And this is the first agricultural harvest of any type on this farm in over 30 years. It's pretty impressive if you ask me. I'm very pleased with how everything happened and how everything turned out. I got 23 bales now to feed the girls, and we'll do this again late summer. You know, get another 23, 24 bales. And I'll be able to keep everybody fat and happy all winter long. Guys, that's going to do it, but I'm not going to do the outro this week. Somebody else.
I'm Scott Jones. This is my dad, Terry Jones. I want to take this time to get everybody to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Tell us what you think. How did we do? And like Dave always says, remember who you are, be kind to those around you, and stand up for what you believe in. Thanks for watching.